Due to climate change, global temperatures are rising so much that polar ice is melting and all the ancient viruses that were frozen for years were released. In response, the government builds rockets to escape into space. But only politicians and wealthy people are able to get tickets. Now, what remains of Earth is a post-apocalyptic environment where the only survivor, Eva, lives in a bunker constructed by her father, accompanied by a military robot named Arthur. Although Arthur is damaged from his battles in the climate wars, Eva's father reprogrammed him to keep her safe. Eva appreciates having someone to talk with, though Arthur struggles with concepts like humor and empathy. Every time Eva goes to the city for supplies, Arthur warns her about the dangers of the contaminated area and insists she should not drink the water there. After putting on a mask connected to an oxygen tank, she drives her old truck to the deserted city. At the supermarket, she collects whatever useful items she can find and is delighted to discover a bag of lavender seeds. Before heading home, she writes her bunker's coordinates on a wall in case other survivors need assistance. When she returns to the bunker, Arthur asks her to provide a password to enter, since his primary function is to guard the place. There's a shower at the entrance of the bunker for Eva to decontaminate herself before she goes inside. Eva spends her time trying to find survivors via radio, caring for her plants, organizing supplies, exercising, listening to music, and playing with balls. The next morning, Eva is busy with repairs and shares riddles with Arthur. She then jokes about marrying him, to which Arthur responds that it is illogical. This prompts Eva to express her frustrations about the absurdity of reality and her deep loneliness. Arthur then asks about her father's whereabouts and why he hasn't returned. Eva reminisces about the day her father left her with Arthur, promising he would be back soon, but he never returned. Eva tells Arthur that she painted her contact information on a wall in the city, but he doesn't understand why, believing that if there were other survivors, they would have already contacted them. Eva then talks about the climate wars, recalling how northern countries used robots to guard their borders and prevent anyone from crossing, which she believes led to human extinction. In disbelief, Arthur struggles to grasp the stories of robots harming humans in war, so Eva clarifies that he too was once a soldier until her father reset his memories. The following day, Eva announces her plans to go to the city to find a plastic Christmas tree. As she crosses the perimeter to retrieve a gas can, Arthur asks for the password. When Eva says Scarlet, he insists it's wrong and points a gun at her. Eva tries again, but Arthur remains firm, even admitting he recognizes her as Eva. He then explains that the password has changed, and she remembers this happens every 3 months. With today marking the start of a new password cycle, she realizes she lost track of time, and the password book is still inside the bunker. Eva loudly states the rules of the procedure to show that she is who she says she is, and tells Arthur to let her through, but he refuses to move. She then repeats all the passwords they have used so far, but none work. She tries to convince Arthur, reminding him that he knows her and that she will die outside if he doesn't let her in. Since he remains unyielding, she attempts to walk past him, but he aims his gun at her. Realizing he might actually shoot her, Eva hides behind a generator, keeping an eye on where Arthur is and how he patrols. After waiting for a few hours, she tries again, casually greeting him and talking about the weather. Arthur responds normally, but when Eva tries to cross the line, he asks for the password again. She talks about their time together and insists she only needs to grab a notebook, arguing that killing contradicts the laws of robots. Arthur clarifies that he isn't allowed to kill humans, only intruders. With no other option, Eva hides behind the generator.
As night falls, Eva starts throwing rocks at Arthur to distract him. Even though he notices the rocks, he doesn't leave his spot. The next day, Eva turns her jacket inside out and pulls the hood over her face before approaching the bunker. Arthur immediately recognizes her and calls her Eva again, but she pretends to be a refugee seeking asylum and cites Article 14 of the Universal Human Rights, which states that any human can ask for asylum due to persecution. The robot agrees to help, but tells her he needs permission from his owner, saying she can find Eva behind the generator. Eva hides again to change back into her usual clothes and comes out to ask Arthur if there's been any news. When he mentions the refugee, she tells him to let her through. Then she hides to put on the refugee outfit and tries again. This time, Arthur seems ready to let her in, but first wants to ask several protocol questions. He wants to know what type of refugee she is, explaining that political refugees have rights while climate refugees do not. Eva, of course, claims to be a political refugee, so Arthur asks for proof of her persecution. Eva is shocked at this request and fabricates a story about a war in her country that killed her family and destroyed her home, leaving her with nothing. Next, he asks for her documents or any paperwork that grants her refugee status. Eva responds that she has completed all the necessary paperwork and asks for water, but Arthur insists he must provide water to Eva first. Realizing they are going in circles, Eva decides to leave and spends the night hidden behind the generator. In the morning, Eva wakes up feeling very weak. She approaches Arthur, who questions how she could be the last person on Earth when he saw both an intruder and a refugee yesterday. He speculates that there must be more humans in the power plant, since it still gets power, suggesting that someone is maintaining it. Eva explains that robots handle those tasks, but Arthur doesn't understand why they would work for nobody. Before she can clarify, she asks for water, but Arthur tells her he can't take anything from the base without permission. After a brief break, Eva recalls something and rushes to her truck. She finds a water container in the engine, but when she tries to drink, it's empty. In frustration, she throws the bottle at Arthur and settles down again. While resting, she is surprised to find a bag of lavender seeds on the ground. With a small hole in the dirt, she plants the seeds and waters them with her last few drops of water. Feeling desperate, she checks the oxygen tank in her truck and sees it has 18% left. Hoping it's enough, Eva climbs into the truck and drives to the power plant. She takes the stairs up to the top of a cooling tower, then descends with ropes to enter the building. Fortunately, the door is unlocked, allowing her to get into the plant itself. She moves through numerous rooms, keeping an eye on her oxygen supply as she frantically seeks water. Eventually, she discovers a map of the plant and follows it to the supply room, only to find the door locked. At that point, her oxygen runs out, so she removes her mask. Eva picks up an axe and hits the door to break it down. She rushes into the supply room and is heartbroken to find that all the bottles are empty. After crying for a bit, she begins to leave the room. While on her way out, she finds a bathroom and sees some water drops in the shower, but it's not enough to help her. Later in the evening, Eva reaches the bunker. She looks at Arthur for a moment and decides to take a chance. The truck moves quickly towards the bunker, and Arthur begins shooting, which forces Eva to jump out. The bullets cause the truck to explode, creating a large fire and injuring Eva. She tears her jacket to make a bandage for her arm and then faints from the heat. The next morning, the fire is out, and Eva feels so weak that she can hardly move. She drags herself along the ground until she can lean against some solar panels. Arthur approaches her and tells her that someone tried to break into the bunker the night before and is now hiding with a refugee behind the generator. Later, Eva is shocked to see her dad coming towards her with water, but she realizes it's actually a hallucination and it's Arthur instead. He tells her that she can come inside if she gives him the password, ignoring her request for water, causing her to pass out again. After a few hours, Eva wakes up feeling drops of water on her face. She discovers they are raindrops that fell from the solar panel. She tries to catch them to drink, but they taste bad and she has to spit them out. After some time, Eva inquires about an emergency mode, and Arthur tells her that it will only activate when she dies, which he thinks is a good solution. He suggests that she can die peacefully because the refugee and the intruder will rebuild the world. With her last breath, Eva asks Arthur to take care of her lavender seeds before she dies. Arthur says that lavender is the correct password and goes back to his patrol.